Universal Studios Hollywood. This is American Gladiators.
Hey everybody, it's your commish here, also known as the Goat Killer. So we are going into week 10 right now, and I'd like to personally congratulate those of you who are still with us. Should I congratulate Kevin? I'm honestly not sure if he's even paying attention, so we'll hold off on that for now. I'll have to check with the judges on that one, actually. Illegal Mexican. Technically still paying attention, but is he really? Come on, man. Giving up Lamar Miller for junk and a third defense. Who actually thought anybody would agree with one of Donnie's infamous trade requests? What a fool. So don't be surprised when you don't get your league invite next year, alright? I'd also like to single out some people and congratulate them on a solid season so far. Our 2012 champion, YMCMB, is doing rather well so far. He didn't auto-draft this year, so definitely surprising everyone with his first place in the division so far. It's probably his assistant coaches, though, B and D. There's a little shout out to those kids. Heard they're really good at soccer. I guess they're really good at American football as well. Blunken Bandits, a no-namer before this year, has come out with quite a fury. And DJ, by far the oldest owner in the league, went from not participating at all to dominating the competition and even trash-talking. Trying to trash talk, right? So, everyone needs to improve somewhere, and clearly that's his area. Besides those teams doing well, I'd also like to highlight Michael's team. He had a tough start, but he has stepped up in recent weeks, including a massive upset against DJ, and just barely lost to his son, the GOAT. I've heard he's been working with a new assistant coach this year, who, from what I hear, is very good and very good looking. Now, I heard there was a nice bet over the weekend between GOAT and Orange Crush. Before I get into that, however, I'd just like to mention that it is league policy to make good on your bets. Fred, Lounging Snakes, is still waiting for his care package. He destroyed you. Pay up. Back to this weekend's bet, though. It involved the Broncos-Patriots game. The loser of the bet had to wear the winning team's jersey. To get more details regarding the bet, I decided to offer some time to either one of those owners. Apparently, Orange Crush, painfully shy, and actually very self-conscious, I've heard. So he declined the invitation. However, I was lucky enough to have the GOAT make an appearance. And with a record of 4-5 and currently in 7th place, I'd like to welcome the GOAT.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Hey, it's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you as well.
Pleasure having you on the shop.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for making some time. I feel like making love this music. Fans?
So, can you give me some details on that bet?
I can, actually. I could probably help you out with that. So, last week, me and Orange Crush, we made a bet. His team, obviously, Mile High Magic, is the Broncos. My team's the Patriots. The bet was, if the Patriots beat the Broncos, that he will have to wear a Tom Brady jersey around and take a selfie so I can post it, for the league.
Makes
and
sense.
if the Broncos won, which clearly they didn't, I would have to wear a Broncos jersey and take a selfie and post it for the league. Now, if I remember correctly, the Patriots destroyed the Broncos.
Let me check my facts real quick. Yeah, they absolutely ran them over.
Absolutely. Almost like a speed bump, just not even there. And that was Sunday. And it is now, I think, Wednesday, correct?
It is Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
Has he made good on that bet yet?
No, he hasn't. It's clearly
Wow.
been 3 days past. He will not return my text messages or phone calls. I don't know if he's just ashamed. He realized his team's not that great. I don't know. But it would be in his best interest, I would assume, to make good on the payment. Because last I checked, the commission has some sort of power.
I do have a league policy. It's gone into effect. Make good on your bets. That's looking at Fred and now Orange Crush. You guys are really letting me down. I'm going to have to come out there and do something about that.
I think so. I mean, on your way out here, they're also, it won't be a wasted trip. You can kick Orange Crush out as well as go to the obstacle course. Just throwing that out there.
So, is it true that Orange Crush was very nervous after making this bet? That's what I've heard. Is this true?
This is very true. In fact, he was almost hesitant the day of the bet. Up until game time, he kept saying, I don't know. I said, what's wrong? You don't have faith in Peyton Manning? He said, no, I do, but the whole time I don't know. He was shaking. It was very weird. For an owner to be shaking, I don't know. I don't know if he's worthy of a team next year. I'm just throwing that out there.
So, actually, I did hear that he was nervous the Broncos would win, but not because of that. Because he didn't want you wearing his jersey. He actually mentioned something about you wearing it and stretching it out. Do you care to comment on that?
It's hard to stretch out a jersey from somebody who's 7 feet tall. He is a very tall guy, so he gets extra, extra large. And it would be a bed curtain on me.
You say he's very tall, yet he gets extra, extra large. Is he also very wide?
He's not wide, but he thinks he's a gangster. He's from LA County.
Let me stop right there.
Yes,
Is he very white?
He's Casper White.
He sounds very white right now.
Casper White. Almost
Eminem
like,
out there.
I was gonna say Malibu's Most Wanted, but yes.
He probably can't even dunk a basketball, can he?
No, he shoots.
That's
awful.
That's embarrassing.
Yes.
I heard you went to K1 Speed last night, which is a little indoor go-kart racing for those of you who are stupid and don't know that. How was it, and how did you do?
It was great. I didn't do as well as I wanted. I did pretty solid, although I haven't been on a go-kart in quite some time. I believe when you went with me last night, you just went the other day because you have no life, and you're able to do very well. Therefore, you've had practice, and I don't.
I'd like to stop you right there, actually.
Okay.
I did not practice. I think the last time I went go-karting, I guess I went with Michael, who could make the playoffs this year, on a side note. Before that, it was with you at the old Camelot. So what place did you finish in last night?
Second to you, overall third.
Third.
I think there was like 20-something people, so it wasn't bad.
So it's more like 8 people. But back to, you said second to me. That would... I'm not a strong math person, but I believe that puts me in first. Is that correct?
I do believe that would say first.
I think I won that last night.
I would like to go ahead and throw it out there, though, that since time of us competing, especially last night, weightlifting, you haven't really beat me at anything other than K1. Today, by the way, thanks for the round of golf. It was good to destroy you. I would like to say K1 was your first win in quite some time. That had to be a great confidence booster.
It felt good.
And I hope that could propel you to a win this week, seeing how your losing streak was finally snapped.
Well, let's just say in golf, you have the front and then you have the back. The front, you destroy him. The back, I believe I beat you by a stroke on the back. And we had a handicap bet, gave me 12 strokes, and I only lost you by 8 today. So I will consider that a win. Chalk it up.
All right, we can consider a win with a handicap, I guess.
Back to the football. I have noticed that you do have a unique strategy that you use during the week before the games. Oftentimes, you'll put your starters on the bench. So you may leave 1 or 2 starters in place, but usually the rest are on the bench. Can you tell me the purpose of this? Are you letting your players get extra rest? Perhaps you're employing some sort of psychological tactic, maybe making them feel as if their role as a starter isn't guaranteed.
I can enlighten you on that. I feel since really my fantasy history year, not only is it a psych out for my opponent because they don't know who they have to scout, who they have to prepare for. However, it does give my team some solid, oh no, am I going to start? Do I need to practice harder? I am giving them time off of practice, although they realize there's no guaranteed start with the exception of my defense and kicker, and that's only because I only have
They're the
one.
only one.
So.
It seems like a fascinating tactic. Perhaps, though, it would work if it was done with the right coach, because as of now, you do have a losing record. Is that correct?
Yes.
4-5 is a losing record. Yep. So next question.
Yes.
Since I do have you here still, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask a few more questions. These actually came from members of the league.
Oh, okay. I can't wait.
So one, do you feel that you can actually win the championship this year if you do make the playoffs?
I do. I do feel that way.
Follow-up question to that. Come on, man. Do you even think you're going to make the playoffs? Come on.
Right now, to answer that question, I do believe I'm going to make the playoffs, and here's the reason why. I am actually, with a losing record, still in contention. And last I checked, I'm actually ahead of you in the standings.
Technically, yes.
And the next couple weeks, I do have a tough matchup. I will have to say the GOAT and I have a matchup the GOAT Killer, the Commish. We do have a matchup this week. That's really my only obstacle. The next week, I feel like I have a couple buys as well as him. But the people in front of us, i.e., Lounging Snakes.
Let's talk about that. He has a strength of schedule like no other coming up. It's like Alabama right now.
He does. I do strongly think that he will lose. I also think that Tim's team could lose.
Well, he is playing both of us still. Those are 2 losses for Tim. He does like to talk a lot of trash. I'll get back to him in a second.
Okay.
I guess I'll get back right now.
Well, I was interrupted. Like
Okay,
I
you're
did
done.
this whole speech.
So, about Tim. He's in quite a predicament this week. He has Nick Foles as his only quarterback, I believe, and Nick Foles is now injured. I personally sent him a great trade. Cam Newton, Denard Robinson, what else do you want? And he declined, apparently talking a lot of trash. And he went ahead and accepted another trade. Do you care to comment on that trade?
I would. The reason he accepted the trade by me is because it's a much better playoff for him. You wanted to give him Cam Newton, Denard Robinson, and Vincent Jackson.
Great players.
Denard Robinson having a fantastic year as of late. That's about the only player. Cam Newton, yes, he does need a quarterback. However, Cam Newton's nothing to gawk at. There's plenty of people on the waiver wire he could pick up.
It looks like Cam Newton and Andy Dalton pretty much on the same level.
And then you went ahead and threw in Vincent Jackson. However, Vincent Jackson's not having a solid year. The
But
players
he
he did want were for Ahmad Bradshaw, who's actually a top 10 running back, doing pretty solid, which he did get from me. And from Calvin Johnson. Now, Calvin Johnson has not been up to par. He's been injured. However, once he gets back, let's be honest, Cam Newton and Vincent Jackson are a throwaway.
We don't know that. If you look at the evaluation on the Yahoo Sports, both teams would have been up by about 22 points. So, Tim, not a very good job.
I do want to point out one thing. The only counter to that would be, and this has to be a come on man moment, is I like the spontaneity. I love the pickup. He did pick up Fitzpatrick, who's not solid, but he's doing okay. However, he picked him up on a bye week. Not only does he have a bye week, Tim, I got to let you know, as of today, 3 p.m. Eastern, Fitzpatrick was benched for the season. Come on, man. Got to do your research.
Some bear. Come on, man!
Man.
In this trade that he accepted, I believe you gave him Andy Dalton.
I gave him Andy Dalton and a solid starter in Dixon from the Bills.
First of all, his first name is Booby, and his last name is Dixon. No wonder why he accepted that trade. Just want to say real quick, I believe Andy Dalton is playing on a Thursday, a.k.a. tomorrow night. Is that correct?
He is.
And trades usually take 2 days to go through.
They do. This trade actually doesn't go through until Saturday, which was not only a mix-up on my part, as well as on Tim's. Again, before you accept the trade, you got to look at when it's going to be implemented. And clearly it said Saturday. You should have seen Andy Dalton was Thursday. Again, a come-on, man moment.
It's pretty embarrassing. I don't want to bag on Tim. He's probably in the corner crying right now. So we'll just go to the next question. Will you stop the usage of the name GOAT after this season's disappointing finish?
I probably will not, due to the fact that the name has been since 2007, since my championship run, and it's just kind of stuck. Now, last season, if you don't remember, I started out, I think, 4-6, and ended up making it to the playoffs and bouncing you out in the first or second round, and then going on
to remember that.
and then going on to the championship, where I lost only to the one.
He's no longer in the league, by the way.
Which, yeah, I mean,
guy's a joke.
he's also an old guy, and he relied heavily on auto draft. I don't support auto drafters.
The guy's a joke, kind of
Yes.
like YMCMB, but he actually drafted this year. Good for him.
Well, good for him.
How do you feel about your terrible trade getting vetoed the other day?
I do need to comment on that, and this also goes to the league. Whether my trades are solid to some of you or not solid, I do have to say, you got to let the members speak for themselves. You cannot take it upon yourself as the commish and the league to, dictate one's fate. You got to just let it be between that player. If they're not that good or they just don't know what's going on, that's their fault. There's a reason why there's tacos and Andres in this league.
That's a double entendres to you.
Yes. So you got to just let it play out.
Okay. I do appreciate you taking the time to answer these tough questions. So I'd actually like to offer you the floor now. Do you have anything you'd like to say, or perhaps even questions of your own?
I have a couple questions, as well as I'd like to throw some flags out for the...
We'll handle that afterwards,
Oh,
as you can
okay.
see that right there.
some questions I'd like to... a couple questions I'd like to... Actually, I have one for you.
Huh.
One, and I think I can agree, and on behalf of the league, this goes for the league to you. I would like to ask if you could please stop getting in people's business and letting everything play out. Just because I understand Week 10 is a huge week. You don't want to lose to me. It's been consecutive years and multiple competitions
Very
that you've
true.
lost to me, you gotta let it go, man. You gotta just realize, hey, clearly you're making your awful trades yourself. Which, by the way, Tim has been getting on me, telling him to stop.
These
the
are
trades.
better trades by than Donnie.
But anyways, my question to you is, if you could just reel back the power stick and let it play out.
I will just throw this out there. Are you the only one that actually feels this way? Because you're the only one who complains, and you're the only one who has those terrible trades.
No, illegal Mexican, Tim's team, my team, of course. You know, there's a few people. Fernando's team. There's a few people. My dad's team. That's over 6 people. That's over.
I haven't
Majority.
actually received any complaints from them. I think you're.
That's because they're too. I mean,
yeah.
you're the commish. They
If
think
you
can do something.
if you do have a complaint, you are more than welcome to post on the message boards, or you can even write me a letter in the mail. I will accept either way.
Don't do it on Smack Talk though, because this guy doesn't get the apps for some reason.
It doesn't work on my apps. I did notice a lot of people were talking trash on me in there about my terrible trades. Have you guys not looked at the GOATS trades? Come on, man.
Clearly, they're better than yours.
Any other questions or comments?
You know, no questions. I just have those flags I'd like to throw as challenges.
Let's throw our challenge flags out here for the week. Go ahead. I'll let you go first.
First challenge. I'm gonna have to challenge you. This goes to Michael's team. Nope, not you. This goes to Michael's team. Taco of the league. I'm gonna ask you, please. This is my challenge. My challenge to you is to stop letting the commish take over for your team and stop making ridiculous moves. If you can't do it yourself, you need to get out of the league. So that's my challenge to Taco. Please, come on, man. Sack up. It's your team. Make your own moves. Don't be asking him for help. That's my challenge for him. If you have another challenge.
Challenge flag coming right at you, Tim. Seriously, man. Rejecting my trades for a terrible trade for Andy Dalton. What are you doing? What are you doing? I wish you could have been on the course today. We would have destroyed you. Donnie says you're good. I don't buy it. You seem like you suck. But I'm going to be nice to you right now. Just because you accepted a trade and Andy Dalton plays on Thursday, since the trade won't have gone through by then, it pushes the trade back a little bit later. You should know this. You actually did this earlier in the year.
I did.
So your trade actually will not go through until a little bit later. So don't feel so bad. You still suck either way. Any last comments from you?
I actually have 2 more challenges.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Do we have that many flags? I don't know.
I have a couple more, and if not, I'll just use the same flag. So my next challenge is going to be to
You probably should have had these prepared. before you
Kevin. I
came.
did. I did. Anyways, that challenge is going to be to Kevin. Kevin, coming into the season, you were talking mad smack that you're a fantasy guru. Clearly, I've not seen it. Granted, I do know that you have had some issues with your team. Your team has been injured. I get that. However, some of these moves you're making are just awful. My challenge to you is try to finish 500. That'll do it for that challenge. My third challenge.
Well, may I interject real quick? Is Kevin the one who tried to start his own league on NFL Network?
Yes.
Yeah, that was pathetic. Would you have 3-4 people tops? And then you had to come crawling to the commish to get into a league?
He did. It was pretty embarrassing.
I mean, that's probably, I don't want to bash him too much because he's, like Tim, probably crying right now. Go ahead and throw your next challenge flag out if you would like to.
All right. Well, do you have a challenge?
I don't have any more challenges.
Okay.
Tim knows what he's doing.
My third and final challenge, I had some more, but they're really relevant. My third and final challenge is a huge one. This challenge is going to go to the commish.
Whoa!
This challenge is for you. We've already touched on it. This challenge to you, you're all talk when it comes to the season.
That's very
Haven't
true.
really made it past playoffs. Whether you're a championship in the season, it doesn't matter. My challenge to you, it's been, 3 consecutive years in fantasy football?
This is my third consecutive year of fantasy football. Also, the commish all 3 years. Doing a great job. I've got great reviews.
Anyways, back to the challenge. Third year in 3 years, the commish has not yet to beat the GOAT. Not even once. Not season, not playoffs. My challenge to you is, in Week 10, the only time we're going to play each other, because chances are you're not going to make it to the playoffs. My challenge to you, are you going to sack up and win the game, or are you going to yet falter to not only another owner, but your cousin, who you falter to in every aspect of life?
You know, fantasy football, for some reason, it's not my forte. Fantasy baseball, whoo! What was the score? I think I beat you by like 300 points in the finals.
Let's not get off topic. Fantasy baseball is completely different than fantasy football.
That's very true. I will do my best to beat you this week. Right now, I believe I'm projected to beat you by 0.5 to 0. Is that
Actually, If you were up to
Ooh,
date,
I gotta
you'd
check it.
see I set my almost full roster this
Ooh.
morning.
Well, that's fine. My guys need to rest a little bit. I got people in London right now. Anyways, I'd just like to thank you once again for stopping by the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT.
Thank you. I just want to say one thing. Thank you for having me on the
It's been
show.
a pleasure.
Clearly, we need to get some scripts ready because this is awful. But I want to say thank
I was
you.
prepared today.
Anyways, I want to say thank you. I'd like to say good luck this week, but
I don't need it.
you
You're
don't.
right.
You don't need it. Not like you're gonna win anyway. I could be projected 70-2, and somehow I still pull out the win against
Probably.
you.
My team has not been performing.
Actually, I do. If I can throw one more challenge out there, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. Imaginary
This
flag.
is the biggest challenge, actually, of all. Challenge. Granatico, stick to your word. You owe me a bet, man. You need to stick to it. Also, Fred, challenge to you as well.
The commissioner will come after you, break some knees if he has to.
Yeah. As far as that, though, I want to wish everybody, well, the people who are not doing that well, the best. The people who are doing great, I wish you choke. But thank you again.
Kind of like YMCMB.
yes.
Miss chokes on. We'll leave it at
Also,
that.
my dad is starting to slip. I don't know if it's old timers.
I think he's getting older.
I do. I have prior engagements. I do have to get to a hockey game. Thank you guys. I'll be sitting in the owner's box with the owner. We're gonna be
AKA the
talking
commish.
strategies. Yes. So we'll be sitting with the Ducks owner. So thank you guys for your time.
Thank you very much for coming.
All right,
Appreciate that.
We'll see you over dinner.
I'll
Maybe
see
some
you
coffee
later, yeah.
at the game. Okay. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Good luck the rest of the year. For those of you that don't make the playoffs, don't worry. To be honest, nobody even expected you to make the playoffs anyways. As for the rest of you, those who are privileged to make it to the next round, I'll see you in the playoffs.